Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video on the SciLA Stats YouTube channel. So, there's quite a few things to cover in this video, none of which will take super long, I anticipate, but like I usually say, I talk a lot, so we'll see. The first thing I wanted to say is that I purposely did not post my last video on this channel on Discord because I was curious how many views it would get now that my audience is, a lot bigger. I was curious how many views it would get without me doing that. And honestly, it got way more views than I expected. I expected it to get like 20. Um, but yeah, obviously it didn't get the views that my usual videos get because obviously I didn't advertise it at all. So if you didn't watch that video and you want to know how I break down the Science Olympiad season, you should go check that out after this video. But anyway, we have quite a lot to discuss. The first thing I want to talk about is the Santa Carla regionals results. Um, I amended my regionals philosophy, I suppose, in my last video. My last video where I was actually talking about SciOly stats and stuff, not my last video. You know what I'm saying. But yeah, basically, I'll be talking about regional results if they are important to my rankings, and this one certainly is. So, Monte Vista. This region, by the way, this is an incredibly competitive region. Usually, regional competitions aren't very competitive because it's just very unlikely that all the competitive teams in a state are going to be grouped in one single region. But this one is the exception. This one is extremely competitive. There are 4 or 5 competitive teams here. Monte Vista and Mountain View are this year the standout members. They were going head to head here. And without super scoring, Monte Vista takes first by 18 points. Now, that might seem like a really big win for Monte Vista, and it is to some extent. But if you super score it, Mountain View actually wins by 8 points. So, hardly a very large gap there. I would say probably barely significant, but still significant, I'd say. Again, I define a significant gap as anything more than 7 points, and that's for a fairly competitive tournament. A non-competitive tournament, maybe a significant gap would be 5 points or so, maybe a little more than that. Maybe 7 is general across the board. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, Mountain View brought 2 teams here. And Monte Vista might have brought 2 teams as well, but I'm pretty sure Monte Vista was stacked. Mountain View, however, I do not think was stacked. So when you super score them, they beat Monte Vista by 8 points. So I mean, I've changed my tune on super scoring a little bit. When I first started this channel, I thought super scoring was the be all end all. Like if a team beat another team when they were super scored, then that means they're better. That's not necessarily how it works. Super scoring only gets you so far. I've realized after doing this for half a season now. So yeah, this super score might seem like a little bit of a nail in the coffin for Monte Vista, but I don't think it is. I think that I think what this tells us is that the head-to-head matchup between these two teams' stacked rosters is going to be very, very close, very competitive, and certainly very interesting to watch. Again, right now, I still have Monte Vista ahead. We'll be looking at my states rankings later in a couple seconds, probably. But yeah, I still have Monte Vista ahead right now, but I mean, it is very, very close between these two teams. Mountain View could easily take this if Monte Vista gets cocky or slips up, and same goes for Monte Vista. If Mountain View, they see the super score results and they're like, oh, we totally got this, and they slip up, then Monte Vista can easily take this. So this could really go either way. Again, I'm keeping Monte Vista up. We can look at some of the records here. I'm keeping Monte Vista up for now because of their more recent records. You can see here Golden Gate beating Mountain View outright. Pretty decent gap, too. This Birdso was obviously their B team or freshman or something. Then we look here, Desert High. I probably should have super scored them for this. In fact, I definitely should have super scored them for this. I'm not really sure why I didn't. Okay. Let's see. Can we find another result here? This one, pretty good performance as well. Not super competitive teams, though. I mean, you get what I'm saying. Their most recent tournament performance, again, that I can find, they beat Mountain View outright. So I'm going to keep them ahead for now, but just know that this matchup is very close. Now, we have three new state results that I have access to. So let's jump over there and take a look at these. So I'm going to start with the less significant one. Let's start with Oregon. So, Oregon, congratulations to Jesuit High School for being the Oregon State Champion. I'm going to check if they were the state champion last year. It doesn't look like they were. Who was? Let's see. Let's find out. Yeah, we're going to need more than that. What? Oh, there we go. St. Mary's Academy. Wow, okay. So we got a bit of more interesting result than I initially thought here. Jesuit relations. Never mind. Jesuit High School. Jesuit relations is a passage that we read in one of my classes recently. Jesuit High School. Congratulations for beating the previous state champion at St. Mary's Academy. Sunset also got decently close to beating St. Mary's. Again, barely a significant gap there. What is that? 8 points. But yeah, Jesuit High School. Congratulations. You have earned yourself a trip to nationals. Well deserved. Now, let's look at some more. I shouldn't say more interesting. That was more interesting than I anticipated. But let's look at some other results here. Let's start with New Jersey. So New Jersey here. Yeah, Montgomery wins this. I expected Montgomery to win. I did not, however, expect them to win by this much. I expected this to be a little bit closer. Again, if we look at some of Montgomery's record this year going up against Westminster, let's see if I can find something real easy here. Yeah, super. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so this is actually pretty close. The super scored. Westminster did bring. Oh, never mind. That's South. So the North, Westminster North, brought two rosters here. I almost said they brought three, but this is a different school. Westminster, Plainsboro South. So yeah, Westminster North brought two rosters, and when they're super scored, the results are very, very close. Again, both of these teams are super scored, so both of them suffer from the downsides of super scoring. But yeah, this super scored result would indicate should indicate, I should say, that the state results would have been a lot closer, but obviously they are not. So congratulations, Montgomery, for beating Westminster Plainsboro. I believe Westminster has been the state champion for quite some time in New Jersey, at least 2 or 3 years. I'm going to disappear here as I check that out, hopefully. I know it's a little awkward when I do this, but I'll try and entertain as I look for this here. So last year, yep, Westminster won last year by 10 points. 2022, it was actually Montgomery in 2022 by 1 point. Wow, 1 point in 2022. 2021, wow, Montgomery was at fourth in 2021. And Westminster South actually took it in 2021. So a bit of back and forth here, more than I expected. Westminster North took it in 2020. It looks like they barely got their state competition off that year before COVID shut everything down. Looks like South took it in 2019. So yeah, a bit in some back and forth here in New Jersey. Interesting. I kind of thought that Westminster North was the not undisputed necessarily, but the I guess almost uncontested state champion. But obviously not. It's been going back and forth for a couple years. This year it went to Montgomery, again, by a very, very significantly large gap there. So, again, congratulations to Montgomery for earning yourself a trip to Nationals, and I hope to see you there. And finally, we'll talk about New York. So, this, in my opinion, is the most interesting result for two reasons. First of all, Syosset, absolutely incredible performance. Not quite as low of a team score as Acton Boxborough achieved, but I've heard from, again, my friend Sentient Tree. Thank you, Sentient Tree, for pointing this out to me. That Syosset actually may set a record this year for lowest score in New York history. So congratulations, Syosset. Well earned. You guys have been doing fantastically this year. And the next major thing to talk about here is actually Ward Melville. So before the New York State's competition happened, I had Ward Melville in fourth. I had Great Neck South beating them, and I even had Stuyvesant beating them. Um, but yeah, Ward Melville just came out here and absolutely shredded these two schools. I mean, that's not even really close there. So, and I mean, if we look at the recent matchups here, Ward Melville's recent matchups at Soup. So this is MIT. We know quite a few competitive teams did not do very well at MIT. Um, so I'm almost hesitant to. I know I was talking with Sentient Tree about this a little bit ago. If you look at the MIT results, you have teams up here that you would expect. But then also down here, you have a lot of teams that you wouldn't expect. Enloe and Marquette and CV and Ward Melville. All down here in the low teens and 20s. Uh, so yeah, and I mean the recent tournament performances from these couple teams suggest that they are significantly better than MIT would suggest. So yeah, Ward Melville, not great performance at MIT, but I'm not going to knock them too hard for that. We got Boyceville again beating Marquette, interestingly enough, who looks like did not send a second team here. Yeah, very interesting result there for Ward Melville. This was a while ago, though. This was back in November, so arguably pretty irrelevant now. But yeah, beating Tesla STEM, Washington State champion, no laughing matter there. Again, Nutrier, no second team. Actually, I think this might have been Nutrier's ninth graders, I was informed, or something like that. I think Nutrier was handicapped for this tournament. Again, beating both of Stevenson's teams unstacked. I think when you super scored them, they beat them. But yeah, then if we look at their most recent performance at Soup here, it's actually interesting. Great Neck South, Great Neck South beat them outright. Pretty significant gap too. But when the state tournament rolls around, Ward Melville is the team that pulls it out. Great Neck South. If we look at their record real quick here, we just looked at Soup here. Did I misspell something? Oh, this says Greek Neck South. Yeah, that would do it. Yeah, let's learn to type, please. There we go. All right. Now we can finally look at this now that I'm done tripping over myself. So Soup. So Great Neck South beats Ward Melville at Soup, like I said. Pretty strong performance at Yale Underground. Not super competitive competition here still, though. Wins that pretty handily. Columbia, again, Montgomery is your only other, and Lexington. Lexington's here too. But here, again, Stuyvesant beats them here. And that wasn't too terribly long ago. That was late January. They beat Stuyvesant here. Not the biggest gap, but still pretty large, pretty significant. We already looked at that. We just looked at that. Battle of Valley Forge. This might be their strongest performance to date. Earlier in the season here, Soup was pretty strong too. But this was absolutely fantastic for them. They beat Westminster North, which, even though they lost to Montgomery, still a fairly competitive team here. They beat both of CV's teams, again, unstacked when CV super scored. They end up beating them here. Beat Harriton's B team and both of Lower Merion's unstacked teams as well. Beating Westminster there, still pretty significant. And then Rickards, this is a very old tournament, so take this result with a grain of salt. But not the best performance there. And now we're back to Soup, which, like I said, that might be their strongest performance. So yeah, a bit disappointing, I imagine, for Great Neck South here, to fall so short there of going back to nationals. Going back? Did they go to nationals? Hold on, I need to check. I kind of just said that without thinking, so I need to make sure I'm not wrong. It was Ward. It was Ward Melville last year. I'm mistaken. So yeah, congratulations, Ward Melville, for earning your trip back to nationals, and of course, congratulations to Syosset for not only earning first place and earning first place by a landslide. Honestly, again, this is one of the lowest. I guess Montgomery was pretty low. Syosset's low, and then Acton Boxborough. Like this might be, like I said, this might be the lowest score I've ever seen at a state competition. But but yeah, Syosset, congratulations again for not only earning the New York State Champion title, but also setting a record for the lowest score in New York Science Olympiad history. So, with that, if we look at our current list here, we're starting to get a decent list. We have 7 schools here. Obviously, there's a lot more than that to come. But yeah, currently we have Acton Boxborough from Massachusetts, of course, Mounds View from Minnesota, Montgomery from New Jersey, Albuquerque Academy from New Mexico, Syosset from New York, Ward Melville from New York, and Jesuit from Oregon. Congratulations again to all of those teams for earning your way to the national competition this year. So, I think that's going to do it for this video. Again, a bit of a shorter video. These videos will be coming out sporadically as new state competitions materialize, and I hear that there might also be some late invitationals this late in the season, as well as some regional competitions, which we might talk about if they are significant. Yeah, stay tuned for that. And also, like I said, if you did not watch my last video about how I break down the Science Olympiad season and you want to see that, go check that out. But yeah, that's all I have to say. So thank you very much for watching and have a fantastic day. Bye.